The number one wealth killer sits mostly in plain sight, and no, it isn't you buying avocados or coffees each week. I'll be talking through what that wealth killer is, how this impacts your life and future finances, and how by removing this wealth killer, you can save thousands of pounds per year and even end up becoming a millionaire. But before I do, let's start this video off with some interesting and useful statistics. The median household income in the UK is around £35,000 per year before taxes and benefits, circa £2,900 per month. And the median household income in the US is sat around £74,580 per year, £6,215 per month. Coupling this with the average monthly expenses for the UK being £2,404 and the US being $6,081, we can quite clearly see that people are living their life almost for the exact amount of money that they're earning and not really saving or investing for the future. Of that £2,404 of expenses for the UK, the average monthly finance payment for a car is £400 per month, 16% of total expenses. And for the US, that figure is $735, 12% of total expenses. Bear in mind, these figures don't even include the likes of maintenance, servicing, fuel or other costs such as road tax or MOTs here in the UK, which, depending on what car you get, could easily add an extra £200 to £400 per month to that, showing that cars themselves are a huge wealth killer for anybody that overspends. The reason for these high payments is that society deems cars to be associated with success. The nicer, newer, more valuable car that you drive, the better status you have over those that don't have something of equal value, which in turn can probably push people to buy a nicer, more expensive car than they could probably afford just to get that higher level of status. It's common all over social media, people being ran up to and asked what they do for a living when they show up in a nice car.
Yo, what do you do for a living, sir?
People flexing and posting photos and videos of nice cars as well. So oftentimes on the front end we associate that person with having a lot of money just due to what car they're driving. But we don't actually get to see what their finances look like on the back end, and that car could be a significant amount of their income every single month. So what is a person to do when they're looking to purchase a car? Well, when it comes to purchasing, you only really have two options. You can either buy a brand new car, where the average car price in the UK has reached around £40,000, which when you compare that to the average salary in the UK being around £35,000, you can really see how expensive that actually is to most people. And the new car price in the US is sat around $47,000. Or you have the option of buying a used car, which in the eyes of me and many others is the only real sensible option that you have. Why, I hear you ask? Well, let's take a look at this graph from Auto Express showing the depreciation of a new car over a 10-year period. It's quite clear to see that in the first 3 years, this car is now worth 65% of its original value. And that is not an anomaly, that is the same for pretty much every single new car out there. Take a look at this BMW 1 Series. This is BMW's sporty M135i model, sat brand new in stock at BMW for £40,000. Here is another of the exact same car with 15,000 miles on it from 2021, so barely even broken in at this point, and it costs £25,000, losing 40% of its value from new. Now this is just one example, and there are other examples of that car with 4,000 to 5,000 miles on them from 2021 at around £30,000, showing that same car losing around 25% of its value. But what a saving you are getting by buying used compared to new. Outside of deciding whether you're buying a new car or a used car, you also need to factor in running costs. The car we showed you earlier, the BMW, is probably going to cost you a lot more every single month in insurance, tax, maintenance, fuel than the likes of a Ford Fiesta would in the UK. And a lot of people seem to overlook these costs when it comes to buying a new car because they just look at the monthly payment of what the loan will cost them. Let's use our £25,000 BMW for this example. Solera here estimates that the yearly costs for this car are going to be around £4,483, and that includes insurance, maintenance, running costs. With a similar age, Ford Fiesta costing you £3,269 per year, roughly £1,200 difference, saving you an extra £100 per month. With finance options online for the BMW being around £419 per month and the Fiesta being at £220, the total cost of the BMW is going to be around £9,511 per year or £792 per month, compared to the Fiesta's £492 per month, a total saving of £300 every single month from going from the BMW to the Fiesta. And you can do a hell of a lot with £300 per month, which I'll talk about later in the video. And when it comes to affordability of a car, many people suggest following the 2410 model. This essentially means putting down a 20% deposit or down payment for the car, having a maximum loan of 4 years, and spending no more than 10% of your monthly income on your overall expenses for the car. This includes the loan, insurance, maintenance, fuel, etc. Now, this would be your pre-tax income, so if you're earning £40,000 per year, this essentially means £3,333 per month pre-tax. Therefore, the 10% would be off of that. So you can spend a maximum of £333 per month on the total ownership cost of your car. Now, for many people, this will come as a massive shock. You'll think, how can I even afford a car at £333 a month all in? Well, it is doable, and if that figure seems far too low for you, maybe even switch your mind and try and look at buying the car outright. Therefore, you have no monthly loan costs, and you'll probably even look at buying a slightly cheaper car simply because you have to front up more money in the short term. I followed this rule for my car. I got a 2012 BMW 3 Series around 2.5 years ago. That car cost me £12,000. I put down a 20% deposit over 4 years through a loan via my bank at 2.3%. And then the car roughly cost me around £350 per month all in. That is £230 for the loan, £50 for the insurance. My road tax for the year is £20, so less than £2 a month. And then fuel, I probably spend around £40 per month. And then I set aside around £30 to £40 per month for maintenance. And at a salary of £55,000 per year, my monthly pre-tax income is £4,583, meaning that this car fits well within my budget and means that I can afford it every single month. Now, at the start of this video, I mentioned how you can save thousands of pounds every single year from changing your car buying decisions. Simply buying a used car, not a new car, and living well within your means when it comes to your total expenses and your loan payment for your car by following the 2410 model. But here's how you can actually end up becoming a millionaire simply from changing these decisions as well. So you should look to invest that extra money that you've now saved from going for a slightly cheaper car. If we look at the S&P 500 over the last 40-50 years, that's averaged around an 8% return per year. So simply going from the 2021 BMW we looked at to the 2021 Ford, that £300 per month saving, if you invest that over the next 40 years, you would end up with over £1 million saved up. So say at 20 to 25 years old, all your friends and yourself have now got full-time jobs, you can probably start to look at financing your first car. At that point, many people will try and max out their budget to get the nicest car that they want. However, if you take a bit of a step back and buy a modest car and you save yourself an extra £300-400 per month than your friends are doing, and you invest that money, think how much further ahead you will be later in life than they will, because they'll constantly be buying a more and more expensive car, where you're happy being with a modest car but having a lot of money stashed away. So make wise choices when it comes to buying your next car and try to stick to the 2410 model, and then use the excess money that you are saving to build for your future. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down below in the comments how much you pay for your car every single month versus how much money you earn every single month. And then if by watching this video you will now start to think twice about when it comes to buying your next car. And as always, remember to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you for a new video next week.